So tape server's offline again. Yeah, that's great. So I didn't even go to burn a tape. Every now and then I turn this thing on to offload projects onto the internal hard drive over the network. And then I noticed it started behaving funny, like it wouldn't turn off. Now when I'm using it remotely, I might not have the screen turned on, so I can't see what's going on. But I realized the system wasn't completely booting. It was weird. Windows would be operating enough that I could transfer files over the network, but the GUI wasn't up. So in doing some diagnosis as to why this is being a problem, well, this is the excuse that it gave me. Firmware image in the controller is corrupted. Please run the firmware update utility. BIOS not installed. This time it did seem to boot into Windows, but there was this glitch where it wasn't responding to my USB. My I/O didn't work. It wasn't crashed. I pressed the power button and it went into a shutdown, but then it didn't turn off. It just hung. So, yeah, this controller is causing all sorts of grief. Now I've had that error before and it seemed to correct itself, but it's not correcting itself this time. So I guess it's time for a new controller. Perhaps this is ROS compliance rearing its ugly head. This thing's guaranteed over 10 years old now. Makes me wonder if I want to buy any other used Adaptec controllers. Because Adaptec is something I'm familiar with. The ones I was looking at to replace it were definitely Adaptecs. In the meantime, what I am going to do is I'm going to try the controller that came with it. It's some sort of Dell labeled LSI. LSI SAS 1068? Or is it the 62089A2? I don't know, but either way, before I even think of installing this, I got to do something about these capacitors. They're 1500 UF, 6.3 volts, maybe 6.3 is underrated. This one was clearly puffy. It doesn't look puffy now because I kind of squished it back down. This one doesn't look as puffy, but I do not trust it. So I'm going to be replacing these things, at least proof of concept wise, to see if this controller is going to work. If it does work, I'll get some new higher quality capacitors. As is with the proof of concept, we kind of scrapped some components. Sure enough, in this old power supply, some capacitors that don't look puffy, that are 1500 UF, looks like 16 volts. Well, that's fine. Capacitor ratings are kind of inverse prices right rules anyway. You want to come as close without going under. And having a little bit more doesn't really hurt. The question is, how cleanly can we get these old caps off this power supply? All right, where are they? They are right dish one and dish one. I gotta move my camera. All right, so they're right here and right here. Let us see if this solder will soften for us. Maybe give it a bit of flux. I have to pry these leads straight. This tip I have on right now is not the best for desoldering. And I find there is higher temperature solder out there. And that's where stuff gets annoying. When you find out, ooh, looks like these guys use the high temp solder. Let's see if we can gently pull this off here. Oh, yeah. It's one of those situations where if we overcome the stock solder with fresh solder, we're gonna have a better chance. Oh yeah, she's moving now, easy. Aha. There we go. Elite, 1516 UF, elite. What's this Tom Hardware capacitor tier list I recently heard about have to say? It's not on first tier. Oh, it's on second tier. Good enough for proof of concept though, right? Let's get the other one off there. All right, we've got our salvaged caps. And they do look like they have a 5mm footprint. They're gonna be taller, which means they're now out of spec if you want to put another card right next to this, but fortunately for us, that's not a problem here. Now I just have to carefully remove these old capacitors. And you always wonder if this is something you can actually do because you know, sometimes these PCBs are multi-layered. Pupper ain't even budging. Ugh. Okay. Very reluctantly so. Off to the garbage bin. I gotta clear those holes out. Doesn't look like that's a thing that exists. Wow, we have one of those situations where the solder will cool down faster than you can do what you're trying to do. I think we have cases where PCBs double as heat sinks, and as soon as the iron's not in direct contact with the solder, it just solidifies right up. Well, this is irritating. Gonna have to try a more through-hole technique, Can't really get a good angle at it. For some reason, approaching the solder from this side, it's even more difficult to get it. Like, wow. Okay, I got that hole. Oh, it's that ground point. Okay, there we go. Through hole worked. All right, let's get the other cap off now. Finding some nice places to grab this that we won't bite into any SMDs. Okay, that one came off with a little less fuss. Now to clear those holes. Wow, it's like doing nothing. Wow. Yeah, we definitely have a copper plane on this one. It's like the iron's been on there a while and it just doesn't want to give. Okay, I guess I got one. Problem is these tiny tips do not have a lot of heat at the very point of them. One more hole, man. I just got to clear out this one last hole. Okay, we need to change up our strategy. I'm gonna put a bigger tip on. It's just this one last damn hole, and it's the negative, so there's clearly a big copper ground plane underneath, and it's sinking up all the heat. All right, will a bigger tip that's almost too blunt to even get into that hole be of any help? Nope. Wait, no, this is the positive hole even. Oh boy, you. Can we try wicking it out? No, but we can solder the wick to the hole. Wow, this is fun. You're awesome, bud. Whoa, I think I saw something. Ooh, that made a bit of a dent. I think we're making progress. I'm just kind of pushing a friggin' pin through the hole now while getting it hot. This is the most progress I've made so far. Oh, all it did was displace the solder. Oh yeah, and the second I touch it with my iron, it fills the hole back in. Wow. At least there's less solder in the hole now. Oh boy. Is that good enough to get the capacitor through? Yes. Okay, now, assuming we didn't completely ruin the friggin' board at this point, because that's entirely possible, let's see if we can't get the new to me caps in place. Okay, this nice burnt up mess right here. That's where one goes. Let me double check the polarity on the capacitors. That'd be awesome to... yeah. It's one of the most common mistakes I make. Go solder down a cap, realize I got the polarity wrong. Surprised we're even getting fusion putting it back on. That's how much heat it seems to take. Internally, we probably have a cold solder joint. And finally, another one right here. These holes are more open. I think this one's gonna solder up nice. Or is it? Okay, that should do it. We've got a couple caps replaced on this board. Now we find out if it works. Yeah. I don't have high hopes. All right, the server the TPA, we put you in. Won't bother plugging in the drive. Well, you know what? Let's actually, yes, let's get the drive plugged in. Screw it down real quick just so it stays nice. I'm gonna leave this junk in place because chances are the replacement controller I will get will use the exact same. But this one has a completely different kind of wire. Oh, just clears the fan. All right, let's go see if we can't get this pupper working. All right, let's hook this pupper up and see what happens. Fire it up, bud. Oh! Ha ha! We didn't get that before. Maybe I've resurrected this thing. Control C. Show me what you got. Invoking. We're gonna invoke the utility. All right, what do we got here? Boot order 0. I guess we can, I'm not familiar with this, so I have like no idea what I'm looking at. It's got to say plug apply mapping. Okay, that did nothing. Advanced device properties. You know, I'm just looking through this real quick with like no intention on changing anything. Enable BIOS and OS. I can't, that really doesn't really do anything. Change item, plus or minus. Oh, boot support, disabled. Hey, maybe we can quicken our boot up time. Even though it didn't take anywhere near as long as that Adaptec card did. What else do we have here? Alt-N, global properties. I'm looking for a list where it shows me the devices that are attached because I clearly have that tape drive attached. Alter boot list. Well, there is no boot. Okay, well, stuff might not show up on here because there's nothing to show up. You know, unless it's a bootable device, sometimes it won't, Oh yeah, look at how fast that went. Getting distracted in my dialogue. That's taken a little while, but it's ultimately working. Do I have mouse this time? Ah, there I go. The old controller jammed up the mouse. So let us go to Device Manager, sir, and see if we have any devices to manage. Storage controllers. Oh, there it is. Okay, that's progress. Is the tape drive showing up? Okay, yeah, okay. I gotta go get a tape. All right, the next tape in order, TF 2442. Load it. New. This is gonna be VB-06-TF, what did I say? 2442? Good. Add the files and folders I want to back up. Oh, my mouse is jumping around. Oh, come on, mouse. Cut that out. What is this? Is this a glitch? Tape backup. I want all this stuff here, sir. Hote. Add tape backup, In case of error, continue. Nope. This size should at least be 64K. That was the default with the old tape drive. Well, whatever. We'll stick with it. Create log file. Not interested in compression. Full backup. Now, this particular backup set is almost 800 gigabytes. Since this new drive works way better than the old one, I'm hoping I'm actually going to get closer to my tape capacity out of it. I gotta find out anyway. Happily. Okay. Now let's click on this and pretty sure that should be good. Let's click run. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's working. Ha! I think we have a crisis averted here. I had a controller failure, and now I fixed this controller. Because I did not get that boot prompt last time I tried to use it. Damn, I was really thinking I was going to ruin this thing putting so much heat on it. I'm going to order a fresh set of proper capacitors. I already got them in my DigiKey shopping cart there. I may or may not install them. I probably won't bother filming it. You've seen me struggle installing capacitors onto this board once. You don't need to see it again. So I'm gonna pause the film here, and then I wonder how well this backup will finish. Oh boy, would you look at that? We got a green light. Backup complete. Let me see that log. 768 gigabytes. I swear I had more on there than that, but that's fine. I maybe would have got that before with the last machine, but you know, it's tricky. That last little few gigabytes is like, well, do I have a project that fits in that space, or should I just burn to tape? No, the next project's gonna take up more. Screw it, let's just burn to tape. But we got a green light, which means all that stuff's backed up. I don't have to worry about it. And not only did we get a green light, but it backed up in 2 hours and 29 minutes. That's like way faster than before. We can see right now it burned at a speed of 5.1 gigabytes per minute. I do believe that's faster than the last interface card. I think it was in the high 4 gigabytes a second. So not that much, but still, this thing is running smooth now, even smoother than before. So I'm going to be ordering a good set of replacement capacitors for that card, and ones that are more in spec. Whether or not I change them out right away, I don't know. Probably not going to film it. I think I said that already. But, at least tape server's back online. I wasn't planning on filming this video. I had other stuff I needed to do today, but I had to get this going. So, good news, another small victory. If you like this, stay tuned, because this thing seems to like to break down on me, so I might end up making more videos about tape server, and my tape server videos are a little bit more popular. Probably not. Probably just people want to know about a tape server, and it's like, oh, who's this guy? Oh, look, he's building a tape server. Oh, whatever, he's just farting around, isn't he? Yeah, just tinkering. Hey, it's functional, though. It backs up my stuff, and now I might just be babbling. So,